Yo, what up? You're now rocking with Lou on Luminaire Talk. And today we're going to be covering Drake. We're going to be talking about a few news clips surrounding the shooting that he recently had at his property, the intruder that he recently had at his property, the security firm that he hires to manage his property, and as well some other things that are involving Drake. So without further ado, let's get into it. Bye.
Security guard was shot outside the rapper's Toronto mansion in a drive-by shooting early Tuesday. The Canadian rapper is safe and cooperating with the police investigation. This news comes amid Drake's highly publicized feud with fellow rapper Kendrick Lamar. Toronto police shared the details of the incident on social media, saying the shooting at Bayview Avenue and Lawrence Avenue resulted in one man being transported to the hospital with serious injuries. During a morning press conference outside Drake's home, an inspector from the Integrated Gun and Gang Task Force shared that there's currently no known motive for the drive-by shooting. The inspector also reported that video footage from security cameras outside Drake's house that appeared to capture the incident had been secured. He said, "We have individuals who obviously performed the shooting who were seen in a vehicle. I do not have a description of the vehicle or the suspects at this time. Again, it's very early on in the investigation." The inspector said he could not confirm whether Drake was in his Toronto home at the time of the incident, but that the task force is in contact with the Canadian rapper who is cooperating with the investigation. For much more on this story and all the latest updates, go to thr.com. This is the
Alright, so y'all heard it. So basically, in a nutshell, we had two dudes do a drive-by. Basically, they pulled up at Drake's Toronto home. I believe the name of that property is the Embassy. That's what he calls it, the Embassy, which is ironic because that's the same name that Kendrick was dropping in one of his songs, that the Embassy is next. They watching the Embassy. So this is really interesting right here. This is very interesting. However, so two dudes pulled up, I guess got into it with the security guard and got to busting, shootout, and the security guard got hit. And we don't have any further developing news about that as of yet. But as of right now, that's what this clip is alluding to, that it was two guys, they shot at the house, they shot at the security, and they drove off, they sped off, and they haven't got any suspects, and it's still early in the investigation. So that's what's happening with that. Next one. So now in this next one, we're actually going to be talking about some developing details regarding the shooting at Drake's property. So let's get into it, man.
Leather glove, no sequins.
In a music video 4 years ago,
I could dance like Michael Jackson.
Drake showed off the lavish interior of his Toronto mansion. He never hid the address, even putting that nickname, the Embassy, on full display outside. But at a public council meeting in 2019, an architecture firm hired by the rap star revealed Drake's security nightmare.
Everyone knows where he sleeps, where he eats, and that has really freaked him out, us out, and we need heavy security outside.
At that meeting, the city granted Drake permission to build extra tall fencing around his property. And this week, it was just outside that police say a suspect drove up and shot a security guard.
He was standing outside of the gates in front of the residence when the shooting occurred.
CBC News has learned more about the security firm operating here outside the house. Have a look at that vehicle. Jungle Lion Security presents itself as Canada's #1 provider of security services. But no one answered our repeated calls, and the firm doesn't appear to have a website. We obtained Ontario Transportation Ministry records showing the license plate on the company's vehicle is registered to Aubrey D. Graham, better known as Drake. And the only person listed in the security firm's public profile is the man seen next to Drake in this video, his reported head of security, known to fans as Chubbs.
People that are in the rapper world, they are the most highest threat level of any people in the entertainment industry.
Aye. Woo. Man, this is a lot. So basically, two guys pulled up, they shot at Drake's house, and this is apparently after Drake had his fences raised, and he was given permission by the city. So he had his fences raised. Obviously, the only time somebody does that is if they feel under threat, they don't feel secure, and so they want to take more measures to keep themselves protected, right? So He raised his fences. Now, months later, the shooting happens. Some dudes drive up, they shoot, they hit a security guard. But what's more interesting is the security company that actually Drake is using. He owns the security company, and the only person on payroll, according to documents, with that security company is Chubbs. He is the head of security for that particular security company. So this is getting interesting. Having an intruder on the property at the embassy, and he gets into it with a security guard. So let's get into it, man.
A man was injured yesterday in a confrontation with security at Drake's Bridle Path mansion. Police say they were called to the home on Park Lane Circle around 3 p.m. for reports of a trespasser. Before police arrived, there was a confrontation between the man and security at the home. A shooting in front of the home earlier this week that injured a security guard remains under investigation. Police have yet to release a description of any suspect vehicle that fled.
Man. Y'all heard it. Woo, this is a lot to unpack, but not really, right? So we're gonna get into it. Drake is feeling under threat. So he goes to the city and he gets permission to raise the size of his fences. So he does that. A few months later, 2 guys pull up to his property, drive by, and they bang out with one of the security guards. They shoot the security guard. Fast forward a few days later, we find out there's another intruder at Drake's property, and he gets into a confrontation with another security guard, but this time they call police and police actually apprehend the guy. He gets arrested. Now, to make things a little bit more interesting, researchers and investigative reporters have done some digging around, and they've come to a conclusion that this security company that Drake is actually using to employ his security and his head of security, which is his friend Chubbs, this company is actually Drake's security company. Right? It's very interesting. The news tried to call to get a comment. Everybody's tried to reach out, but apparently nobody's reaching out. But according to documentation, Drake is the owner of this company. So it's just really interesting. You know, if you have a security company and then you're having security dudes getting shot at your property, it just says a number of different things to me. Like, if you understand the streets, if you've watched a couple of those movies and you understand how things work, the inner workings of the street, then you understand that it's not far-fetched and it's not impossible and it's not the stretch of an imagination to say that Drake is getting street guys, actual dudes who have ties to the streets. He's getting these guys and employing them as his security guards, as if to protect them from anything that were to happen, any legal ramifications or anything like that. So it doesn't look like just a random shooting, you know, a security guard got shot. No, it looks like this is some street stuff going on, some street beef going on, and dudes is getting popped at. You know what I'm saying? So this is just really interesting to see, but this got people thinking. Other investigative researchers got out there, and they actually have found out that Drake not only owns just this company, this LLC, the security company, Jungle Line Security. It's not the only one that he owns. He owns a few different companies. Look at this. I'm about to show you right now. Okay. Now, this right here, what we're looking at, it looks like it's a list of different companies that he actually owns, right? Most of them are actually inactive. But as you can see, Live Right LLC, that was in Florida from May, looks like that is inactive as well. That's inactive. There's a lot of inactive ones, and you see the main name that is coming up, the common denominator is Aubrey. Now, it's nothing wrong with owning multiple companies, but what it looks like at this point is this is a list of shell companies, and this is over 20 of them. This is page 1. This is another page. He has a list of them, and this is all international. He has companies here in the States. He has companies in Europe. He has companies all over the place. This is very, very interesting. This whole rap feud that he got into, I don't know why he even decided to get into that knowing that his hands are dirty, per se, because he got too many eyes on him right now. For you to be in a public spat going back and forth, knowing that you're about to be exposed and continue to move forward with it, I don't know if that's productive for you. It sounds very counterproductive for anybody in this position. If I were in this particular position, I wouldn't want to say anything. I'd keep my mouth shut because I don't want no extra attention on me. But in this case, that's not what's happening. Everybody got their eyes on this dude right now. So this is developing stories. There's a lot more things happening. I actually just did a video, go watch it. This video is also alluding to a lot of information. It looks like we have actually found the mole. The mole that Drake was talking about, the mole that Kendrick was talking about, we have found that mole. And this mole has created an account and is posting a lot of receipts, but they're kind of cryptic. So we're going to decipher them. So go watch that video. But as far as this, tell me what you guys think, right? So we got his security guard was shot. A few days later, an intruder got into another confrontation with another security guard, but that guy was apprehended. And then we got all these shell companies that Drake owns. One of the shell companies is a security company, right? So this is just very interesting. And then all this after he requested to have his fence raised in an attempt to feel more secure and protect himself and tighten up security around the property. So this is just very interesting. Stay tuned. There's going to be more developing information. I'm going to be dropping more videos. So in the meantime, let me know what you think. Let me know if you think the Sixth God is done, if this is a wrap for him. Because if this starts unraveling, I don't know what's happening, right? Right now, we just have the facts that somebody was shot at his property. The security company that Drake utilizes is actually his security company. The head of security is this guy Chubbs. And dudes are getting shot on his property. Dudes are trying to break in. He's getting into different altercations with different security guards. So this is very interesting. But stay tuned. Let me know what you think. Go ahead and comment. Go ahead and share this. Go ahead and subscribe to this. I would appreciate you for all the support you do. Remember, watch your back, protect yourself, and protect your family. All right? Peace.